Hey everybody, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. We're constantly updating it with new content and never seen before content. So if you want to get the latest from Harvest, hit the subscribe button. You must not kill. Exodus 20, verse 13. You must not kill. Now, we live in a culture that is just awash in killing, and we see violence in everything from movies to music to video games to you name it, it's there. But then there's real killing that sometimes happens in real time, played out for us. Things that we'll see in videos, things that are out there, causing us to become numb to so much of this. And then there are those that are victims of violent crime. 2 million people a year are victims of violent crime. Think how different our world would be today if we honored commandment number 6. You shall not kill. But let's be clear, a better translation would be, you shall not murder. You shall not murder. And there is a difference. This commandment obviously forbids the taking of another human life, that is for no justifiable reason. Now, I don't have the time to go into it, but there are times when taking a life can be justifiable. Over in Numbers 35, we see that God makes a distinction between killing and murder. Obviously, all murder is killing, but not all killing is necessarily murder. There are times when death is permissible, though obviously not desirable. As an example, self-defense. If someone were to break into your home, do you as a Christian have a right to defend yourself? Some might say, well, I would just pray a lot. I'd pray too, as I load my shotgun. Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition, right? I mean, the point is simply this, is you have every right, and I will take it a step further, you have a responsibility to defend yourself. So clearly that is there. Don't forget that when the disciples were sent up by Jesus, he said, take a sword with you. Why would they take a sword with them? Like for shish kebab or something? No, for self-defense, clearly. And God has established laws in order to govern a culture by. And the Bible clearly teaches if we break those laws, there will be repercussions. For instance, God has established authority. He has established government. The police officer, those in law enforcement, those in the military, are there established by God as well. Romans 13:3 says the authorities don't frighten people who are doing right. The authorities are sent by God to help you. But if you're doing something wrong, you should be afraid, because you'll be punished. Those authorities are established by God for the very purpose to punish those who do wrong. Modern translation, don't mess with the popo. No, but seriously, there's authority that an officer has. I'm a chaplain with the police department. I hang around with cops off and on, and sometimes I'll meet an officer for a cup of coffee and a donut, of course. No, I'm kidding. But so they'll come in uniform and they'll walk into a room. And I'm telling you, the energy of a room changes when a police officer walks in uniform. Now, if he comes in wearing a Hawaiian shirt and cutoffs, nobody cares. But if he has that uniform on, everyone becomes very aware of their behavior. Well, think of it this way. When you're driving down the freeway and a CHP drives by, what is your first reaction? You slow down. I do too. Even if you were going the speed limit, you slow down. And if they slow down, you slow down even more. Nobody wants to pass a cop, right? So there's an authority that comes with that office. And some would say, well, God is against all killing, especially in war. Even that is not true. War is never desirable. But there are times when a nation must go to war. Don't forget that the Lord instructed the Israelites on more than one occasion to go to war against their enemies. Literal war, not just spiritual warfare, but an actual armed conflict. And it's interesting, when Jesus met a Roman centurion who wanted his servant to be healed, Jesus was ready to go with this guy, and the guy says, you don't need to go with me. I'm a centurion, which means that he was in command over other people, other soldiers. He says, I say this, and that happens. I say another thing, and that happens. You just have to speak the word. And we don't read that Jesus said, well, first of all, let's start with you being in the Roman army. This is evil. Forsake your sword, forsake your office, and follow me. Instead, Jesus says, check this guy out. Loose paraphrase. I haven't seen faith like this in all of Israel. How easily he could have said to that Roman centurion, that high-ranking officer, to forsake that position he was in, but he did not do it. Imagine what kind of world we would have lived in if the United States had not gone to war against the Nazis and the Japanese Empire after we were attacked on Pearl Harbor. So there comes a point where we're not just doing it for ourselves, but to save innocent people. And we need to pray for those that serve us in uniform. They've been set there by God. Law enforcement, military. Go ahead and applaud for that. I know you want to. That's right. And even if you didn't want to, you should. Because they don't pay them a lot to do that. They put their lives at risk to defend us, and we're thankful for that.